your breath, fasten your seat belts, get ready. It's the start of a sporting extravaganza from today. There is a action-packed opening ceremony that's in store for you. There is obviously an India tour of Sri Lanka to look forward to as well. There's Olympics, there's this. What else, Siddharth?
Okay, there is also Formula 1 to look forward to.
There's also Formula 1 to look forward to. I think qualification's already taken place.
No, qualification is tomorrow. The Belgian Grand Prix is tomorrow.
The sprint would have taken place.
That I have to check, the sprint. Because the sprint anyway determines you the qualification. So yes, as Arshit said, it is action-packed to say the least from now till August 11th. Because you got the 3 T20Is between Sri Lanka and India, which is beginning tomorrow in Palakele, 27, 28 and 30. Those are your 3 T20Is. At the same time, India's first medal hopefuls begin from 27th onwards in the Olympics.
The archery team already has laid down a marker, I would say.
2 steps away from glory. Because in the land of Ram and Arjun, how could you have not won something in recurve archery? That is the one biggest.
Of Ram and Arjun.
Of course. India is the land of great archers like Ram, Arjun, Dronacharya.
Like Paris, land of Ram and Arjun. Okay.
I mean, India is the bhumi where you have produced all great archers like Dronacharya, Arjun, Ram, and all were recurve. There was never compound back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to come to that, but that was all recurve.
Great recurve archers came from our land, and yet it is South Korea
but now
that
compound,
dominates. Compound it's all automated with pulleys, with a sight and all those things. Recurve is full strength. The more force and strength you apply, the greater, and it is tougher to control because recurve is heavier than the compound. So that is why in such a great land of ours, we've never won recurve medal. Forget gold, you've never won a medal. So that has been laid down. Yes, the Paris Olympics has gotten off to a great start at this point. Because normally what would happen is if you do not qualify in the top and then you don't qualify for the quarters, you have to play the round of 16. Which is what India will not be doing this time around. India are facing France, Netherlands winner in round of 16.
Yeah, they are playing the round of 16. India's opponent is playing the round of 16.
Yeah, you just have to win 2 games. And
to assure a medal.
To assure a medal, and you'd only lose to South Korea. That's it.
Just South. By the way, the women's team is going to be playing South Korea much earlier than the men's team possibly could.
Yeah.
The women's team are likely to play South Korea in the semi-final.
Still,
the men's team don't play in
final.
the next round because of the way that the draw has been made. And see, that's the difference. Had the men's team also finished 4th, much like the women's team, who knows if the qualification then would have, or the fixture then would have been the same for them. But you don't want to be playing South Korea for as long as possible.
Yeah, but then see, let's not deflate our audiences, our family members, because India has beaten South Korea in recurve. It has happened. The miracle did happen in May 2024 when India defeated South Korea in the recurve World Cup stage 1 in Shanghai. So yes, a miracle is possible. Similarly, if you look at it, before we come to India, Sri Lanka, let's just do the Olympic bit and all. I am surprised with the hypocrisy of the Western media at this point in time. Okay. If this Olympics was held in any Asian country, if this was held in India and looking at all the instances of theft, of robbery and all those kind of things, the Western media would have just eyes closed written, oh, the IOC made the biggest blunder in awarding the games to India. Hello, what's going on in Paris? It's a total meltdown when it comes to security.
There's chaos, there's train delays, there are teams that have not reached is what we're learning.
Cyclists were robbed.
There are instances of the Australian cyclist, I believe.
Logan Martin.
Exactly. There's instances of robbery being reported. So there's, if you're in Paris right now, yes, there is so much to look forward to, but do look after your belongings as well in case you're joining us from there.
So Western media outlets, will you please follow your objectivity and also call it that this is the most unsafe time to be in Paris? If you have that guts, please go ahead. For once, shun your Occidentalism, if you want to look at it, that Occidental bias. Oriental and Occidental.
Right.
So, shun your Oriental bias and try look into your own. Because whatever has happened in Paris, you are teetering on a knife edge at this point.
It's funny that it doesn't get talked about much, but certain centers in Europe are the hub of these instances, especially when it comes to, pickpocketing, when it comes to, you know, these small thefts and all. It is rampant in the cities of Barcelona. It is rampant
Yes.
in Paris as well. You thought, yes, security has been heightened and whatnot, but even then, these instances keep on happening, and you already getting reports. By the way, I heard from one of our family members today that please ask Nikhil and Rahul to be careful. They saw their report, like, you never know with Paris, you know, there are people who will just, you know, flick your mobile phone while you're doing your live and all as well. So you don't know, things are very unsafe over there right now, and such instances for miscreants are an absolute buffet.
Absolute buffet. And that is why, look, we all know, Harshit, you are a football fan. When you want to know the true side of a city, you have to look at the football games.
The ultras.
The ultras. And you look at
PSG ultras.
Look at what's happening in every Euro or every match that you see. Marseille. Marseille is the hub of riots in Paris at this point. Look at what has happened in every European city. If you look at
players have been targeted, Siddharth. I can recall times where Neymar was faced with ultras, even Kylian Mbappe was faced with ultras at his own residence, and it's not safe for athletes. In all of this, yes, but these are instances that have happened in the past as well. The Asian Games of 62, maybe, the time that India won in football, Siddharth, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think they beat Israel, if I'm not mistaken.
That time as well, the Indian team also was facing a lot of backlash for possibly one of the comments made by one of the Indian representatives.
I think it was in Jakarta. Jakarta, if I'm not mistaken, 1962. You're right. I'll have to just cross-check on that event.
Yeah. It was Indonesia.
1962 was Jakarta, 1966 was Bangkok. So it is not a good sign in Paris, but we hope, looking at the glamour, what's going to happen tonight at 11 p.m. IST. The opening ceremony is going to be held in the river Seine for 6.8 kilometers. You're going
is it Seine or Seine?
There are two. It's Seine also.
It's Seine also.
It's called Seine. Forget the French pronunciations. I am absolutely terrible at it. You'll go through Ile de Notre Dame, then you'll go through the Louvre, then you are going to see the Eiffel Tower. It will culminate there. I don't know what's the name of that. Stravacado, I don't remember. So it's
we're learning. We're also
learning. Yeah. I mean, Chinese, French, those names are pretty difficult to remember at this point, and along with the Eastern European names. So that's why it is a terrible situation. But yes, a mile away from Paris, lots and lots of miles away from Paris, we have a cricket series.
Yeah, it also it's look at the coincidence. There is a cricket series concerning India happening right now. It's Olympics time. Then there's this series happening in the backdrop. But there's context over here as well. You add the two things together, Olympics and cricket, you get
sport.
No, you don't get sports of that. You get the next edition of the Olympics, which will have cricket in it.
Yes, 2028 Los Angeles, you will get cricket. But actually, there are two cricket series happening. One is India, Sri Lanka.
There's England, West Indies also.
Then three. The Asia Cup.
Asia Cup as well, yes. India booked their place in the semi-final.
India have final, where they'll await the winner, which is going to happen now between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Yeah. You could have an India-Pakistan final also. But then see, this series is important for two reasons. Two individuals in particular. It's a new India that we are looking at in this edition of the Dugout, that Suryakumar Yadav, under whom we have the T20I captain, and the overall, you've got the head coach called a certain Gautam Gambhir from Delhi.
I thought you were about to say Sir Gautam Gambhir.
Sir will come later. If he wins, if he helps India win the Champions Trophy, the WTC, also the 2027 World Cup.
You greedy man.
Then he will be Sir Gautam Gambhir then. He can do no wrong. So that is why Suryakumar Yadav, the first new era, we all have seen how the build-up has been. Why no Hardik Pandya? Why no? Why can't he be the natural successor?
Why no Hardik Pandya in ODIs?
And also as a T20I captain.
Yes, that is a subject we've touched. However, since you mentioned Hardik Pandya, just the one thought I want to gather from you. Do you think it's the end of the road for Hardik, the captain? Or do you think he can still possibly make a comeback, make his case perhaps to the team management, to the new coach? Or has the ship sailed for Hardik Pandya?
Tough question you have asked me. See, I don't know how the Gautam Gambhir, Ajit Agarkar management is going to be functioning at this point in time. Are they taking it series by series? Are they looking at a long term? Because see, two things have been established once Surya Kumar Yadav was made the captain. They don't have trust in Hardik Pandya's fitness, so they want improved fitness. But then if he gets improved fitness, say after 1 year, because you are not immediately going to make him the Bangladesh T20I captain also in that series, okay? If he doesn't get the T20I captaincy, say until the South Africa series, which is sandwiched between New Zealand and the BGT, then I think Hardik's chances of leading India in the T20I setup till 2026 is over.
You can then perhaps just extend this thought and maybe say with that logic that for good, Hardik Pandya, the leader, can be forgotten. Because see, in white ball cricket, this test cricket, Hardik Pandya is not in the scene. White ball cricket, there is a Rohit Sharma who will be in charge for easily another 12 months or so. Unless, of course, there's a change in guard, which at the moment...
Or unless results don't go his way.
Yes. And they have to be drastic results, by the way.
No, I mean, supposing if they don't win the CT, they get to the final, but they don't win the CT.
Even then, Siddharth, you remember what Gautam Gambhir said about this Indian team. Of course, he didn't talk about or name Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid, but when you say you are inheriting a very successful team, he did mention the fact that this is a team that reached the final of the WTC, reached the final of the World Cup, now winners of the T20 World Cup as well, and Rohit Sharma was the man in charge in all three. Then how do you... So, is the message then going to be to Rohit Sharma, because you didn't win us the CT, now you're not good enough, now we're looking past you?
That is a catch-22. I'll tell you why. Because with Rohit and Virat, okay, everybody saying they deserve to play, they deserve to go out on their own terms by playing even 2027. But then you've not allowed your youngsters to then have that much of center stage. When are you going to make the transition to a young team? By 2027, if you have, see, Rohit will be 40, Virat will be 39. Sure, the achievements that they have had, it's a very 50-50 thing for me. Do they deserve to go out on their own terms? Does any sports person deserve to go out on their terms?
I don't think so.
Looking at a broader perspective that yes, I have to ensure that I lay the foundation for the next generation.
Because the time, Siddharth, that happens, the time that sports persons get to choose when they want to hang up their boots, it then places the sports person above the game, or the sports person above the team.
Which has always happened in India's case.
In Indian cricket, it's happened. However, I will just want to mention over here that yes, if there's bilaterals and all that's there, like I remember Ashish Nehra wanting to play his last game here in Delhi. There was fine, there was nothing on the line in that particular series. However, when it comes to bigger tournaments, then maybe you need to have a calculated sort of a decision made, a measured. Look at the decision being made in the case of Jimmy Anderson. Somebody who's picked up all those wickets, over 700 wickets. He was closing in on 200 test matches. Well, could have gone around that number had he then had in mind what the WTC of next year. I know it's a long shot for England, but it's not like it's done and dusted. But those decisions, see, in England weren't made keeping the WTC in mind. So in Indian cricket also, what you should be doing is make decisions with the grander scheme of thing in mind.
Correct. But that doesn't happen, which is why, see, the transition might have happened in T20s, because Rohit and Virat said, yes, it's bye-bye. Ravindra Jadeja also said, I've given it my all. So these three stalwarts have retired. So a new India in the T20I series is going to be upon us. So Surya Kumar Yadav inherits this T20I squad, which is, he's there. Shubman Gill is the vice captain, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rinku Singh, Riyan Parag, one of the beneficiaries at that point in time. Despite not having a good Zimbabwe series, I think Riyan Parag's past performances in domestic cricket have given him that buffer.
Which is good. Which is what I like. There is a semblance of continuity that you see over here. Just running you through the squad, we did tell you about the 5 players. Let's tell you the others who are there as well. The designated wicket keepers, or as far as the T20 squad is concerned, Rishabh Pant, Sanju Samson. Unlikely that the two of them feature in the 11. But Rishabh Pant, calculated guess is that he is going to be the one who is going to be starting ahead of Sanju Samson. Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dube, Akshar Patel. That's your middle order, lower middle order. Washington Sundar, Rafi Bishnoi, Arshdeep Singh, Khalil Ahmed. Or should I say something else in that?
No. The person who did those shenanigans is long gone. The one who repeated it is also long gone.
And then there
Sri
is
Lanka's destroyer, Mohammad Siraj.
Sri Lanka, the one bowler Sri Lanka don't want to play, and that is
Mohammad Siraj. So, looking at it, see, if I have to immediately pick my 11 for the two games, because tomorrow you're going to see back-to-back games on the weekend. We thought it would not get any bigger, but it is. Two T20Is happening on Saturday and Sunday in Palakele, followed by the Women's Asia Cup final also on Sunday, followed by Formula One action on Sunday, followed by India's first medal prospect on Saturday, followed by the other one.
That's right.
Yep.
Wherein, as we said, fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
So, if I have to make the 11 for India right at this point in time, okay, Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal are my openers. Rishabh Pant or Riyan Parag. There is a way how you can fit in a Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant.
Make one of them open.
No, Rishabh Pant bats at 3, Suryakumar Yadav at 4, then 5 will be Sanju Samson, or 5-3 interchange, make Sanju bat at 3, Rishabh at 5, Dube at 6, Hardik at 7, Aksar at 8.
Dube at 6?
Where
you did it only once in the World Cup.
Yeah, so why not? That is the only way you can fit in a Rishabh Pant and a Sanju Samson.
Bapu will be like, मैंने क्या बिगाड़ा है?
Art, but then he's a bowler predominantly. He can be the floater in that sense. Okay, but if practically I look at it, both are not coming in. So a Rishabh Pant, Suryakumar Yadav, Shivam Dube, Hardik Pandya, Aksar Patel, that's your 7. Okay. Then I've got a Washington Sundar at 8, Ravi Bishnoi at 9, Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Siraj. That is my 11 for the Indian team in this Sri Lanka T20I series.
How many bowlers though, Siddharth, in the 11 you named? There's Siraj, there's Arshdeep, there's Bishnoi, there's Washi, there's Aksar, and
there's Hardik, there's Dube.
That's fair. I think that's a fair composition.
I think the lower order will be the same as what we had for Zimbabwe, looking at the way how it is. I think Dube will get an extended run. Hardik, he will only play the 3 T20Is because the BCCI chose an opportune moment that, okay, a guy has got poor form. I mean, he has injury issues. There are off-field issues as well. And okay, we tell him you are not considered for captaincy. Wow, well done.
Off-field issues, which by the way should not concern the BCCI that much, I feel.
But then he already told that I can't be available for the ODIs because I've got issues. Yet they did not want to believe in that and said, okay, you're not the captain in T20Is. Natural successor. Now you're saying na Bapu will say, if I bat low, मैंने क्या बिगाड़ा है? Hardik has that only legitimate grouse. मैंने किसी का क्या बिगाड़ा है? So that is why, that is my 11. Any changes in that?
But this series, because I won't go ahead and name an 11. So that was the simple reason. I think that there is going to be tinkering and possibly in all matches. I don't quite see there being a situation because I think this series gives you far more insight or it gives you far more answers than the Zimbabwe series. Why I say that is because you didn't have certain players who are bona fide starters in this team on that Zimbabwe tour.
Correct.
There is the coming back of a Suryakumar Yadav, there is the coming back of a Hardik Pandya as well, Yashasvi Jaiswal. Yes, he played a few games, but remember, it was because he wasn't there in the first couple of games. You had Abhishek and Ruturaj then open, and you saw the moment that he came in, there was a change in the opening pair as well. So I think I get more answers from this series. Though one long-term answer that I'm looking at, and perhaps the big answer here is, and it concerns not just the T20 series, it concerns the ODI series as well, and that is Shubman Gill. On 2 counts, Siddharth. One, Shubman Gill was shown the door in T20s. Remember, he wasn't selected in the Afghanistan series. It was Yashasvi Jaiswal who was picked ahead of him when Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli made a return. Now, that told you that between the two, there is Shubman Gill that's not ahead. It is Yashasvi Jaiswal that has superseded him. However, now with the return of Shubman Gill as the vice captain in both the formats, it adds the onus on Shubman Gill to repay the faith of the Indian team management, and that also tells me that Shubman Gill is your answer as far as leadership, long-term white ball cricket is concerned. He is one of the few players who can play across formats. We know the Indian setup is such that you don't like seeing split captaincy, albeit that was the scenario over the last 1 year where the senior pros weren't around, but then at that point, if you saw during the World Cup, it was the same captain, ODI, T20 and Test, Rohit Sharma.
Yes.
So in that regard, I'm looking for for performances from Shubman Gill, how is it that he can, because the only way Shubman Gill can really repay faith right now is by scoring lots of runs. T20 cricket, there have been certain criticisms about him, about the nature of pitches on which he does well, about him having the kind of attacking intent, him having the same problem as many say as that of Virat Kohli. Too good looking a player to be playing all those slog sweeps, to be playing all the miscalculated.
Plus he couldn't silence his critics, despite having 250s versus Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Despite doing okay with the bat as far as average is concerned, but the one thing that the critics point out was the strike rate.
So it becomes an important series in that regard for me, and that's the big thing I would want to be looking forward, because if Shubman Gill is not to have a decent enough series, let's say, that's not to say that the door will be shut on him, but the pressure will then mount. Then the South Africa series, then the Bangladesh series as well that you'll be playing. I think it's not, because the Indian team would want clarity. Yes, the 2026 World Cup is still a fair distance away, but it's these series that are going to build the narrative around these players.
No, and I think amongst all of them, correct me if I am wrong, is Shubman Gill in this current lineup, along with the Yashasvi Jaiswal, he's not yet played that many ODIs, is he a consistent 3-format player?
Shubman Gill? Yes.
So, the onus on him to prove is massive this time around.
So, it's players like him, Rishabh Pant, who there'll be a little bit of an added pressure, I think, on these guys, because one thing is that this Indian team values players who can play across formats. This is something that was mentioned in that press conference that the head coach and the chief of selectors also addressed the other day. And I'm sure the one thing that went in favor of Shubman Gill was his ability to play across formats, and that's what they're looking at. It also tells me that they are in the long term not looking at having different captains for different formats.
Correct. Now, see, that will be by design because of the way how it is. Rohit will not play in some series. Anyway, see, he's going to play all the test matches. He's going to play 6 ODIs now. That's about it. So, T20Is, yes, you're anyway going to deal with 2 captains. You've got Surya Kumar Yadav, you've got Rohit Sharma, who's leading India at this point in time. So, yes, the key takeaways for India from this series will be Shubman Gill's form, how he shapes up as a leader, because he's going to be under both Rohit and Surya Kumar Yadav in the ODI and the T20I series. The third major takeaway is how this team manages as a unit going forward. Is it going to be the same unit? Is it going to be consistency? Are the selectors going to give a longer rope? Or are they looking at series for series, horses for courses until 2026? Are you building a core for 2026? Are you giving them a consistent run? These are the main things.
This also, Siddharth, will tell us 2 more things, because it's a new partnership in Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav as well. It's a partnership that I am quite excited to see. We've heard that Surya Kumar Yadav, there was quote unquote good feedback.
Yes, which we will be doing. I'll be doing a video on what he exactly said, because there's a video that the BCCI have released at this point in time. So those are the key things that he said about the partnership with Gambhir and how the mental tuning between both of them. So do check that video, which we'll be doing.
Because will Gautam Gambhir want to bring in shades of KKR over here with the philosophy that you kind of won the title with very recently at KKR, because Gautam Gambhir does like all-rounders. That's the one thing. You look at somebody like a Rajat Bhatia also, he always had him in the side. You look at a Sunil Narayan, you look at a Dre Raz, you look at a Ramandeep Singh as well, how he was given the platform this time. So you know that all-rounders definitely find a way in all Gautam Gambhir sides. So in that regard, is there a change in philosophy as far as India are concerned? We know that there weren't a lot of all-rounders in this in this T20 World Cup squad. Hardik Pandya was your only true all-rounder. Because again, similar situations will come up that you won't be able to play Kuldeep and Akshar together in all matches.
Correct. Yep.
Those situations will also come your way going forward. So in such a scenario, is there a further boost for somebody like a Washington Sundar? Is there a further boost for somebody like a Shivam Dubey as well? So those things, I think I'll be very interested to see. Can Akshar Patel be converted into the pinch hitter that Sunil Narayan then turned out to be for KKR. I'm excited to see those things. The Indian team has already used Akshar Patel as a floater in the past.
Very successfully also.
In the World Cup as well, let's not forget. So there are lots of answers you can look at. Lots and lots of answers.
Which will all begin from 27.
And that clarity.
Yep.
The one thing always spoken about Gautam Gambhir is the clarity that he gave to the KKR unit of 2024. The fact that every player knew what is to be done, and look at that, the only side which had 5 bowlers in excess of 15 wickets that they had picked. Look at the kind of combination you had with Salt and Sunil Narayan as the openers. So everything, the role clarity was there. Everyone knew whether you had to go boom boom, whether you didn't have to go boom boom. How is it that you had to bowl in the power play? So in the T20 scheme of things, because you looked at these players, I don't quite think there's a lot of players who really missed in terms of this 15-17 member squad, whatever that you've named this time. Yes, of course, the pool is a little bigger, it's wider than this. However, I'd like to believe that in the 2 years cycle that you're looking now, these players are going to be at the core, and at some point I would want to see and Gautam Gambhir would also want to see how is it that you can form that combination so as to prepare for 2026.
Absolutely. So yes, the main thing that is highlighted is Gautam Gambhir's role clarity from KKR, how we will promote it in the Indian cricket team. But then just a brief minute before we take some questions at this point, the Sri Lanka T20 squad. Now remember, everybody might be thinking that it would be a cakewalk, this Indian team against Sri Lanka, but the last time India toured, Sri Lanka actually won the T20I series 2-1, and they had lost the ODI series 2-1, but they could have lost that also had Deepak Chahar not contributed with the bat.
With the bat.
Yes. Now if you look at it, Sri Lanka have also been beset by injuries. If you look at it, there's no Dushmantha Chamira. Yes, this is the squad that we're showing, but there is no Dushmantha Chamira, and there has been one more injury update also. So Charith Asalanka is there as one. He's the new captain who's going to lead Sri Lanka. Pathum Nissanka, Kusal Pereira, Avishka Fernando, Kusal Mendes, Dinesh Chandimal makes a comeback.
Wow.
Countless comebacks of Dinesh Chandimal and Kusal Mendes, I have lost count about it. Because Chandimal makes a comeback, but then how long does he stay? We don't know. Kusal Mendes, forever the comeback guy of Sri Lanka cricket, never manages to do well on a consistent level. Dasun Shanaka. Is it Dasun Shanaka that I'm seeing in 2024, or is it his twin brother? Because I can't recognize Dasun Shanaka from the 2022
I think it's since that injury, Siddharth, that he had, he's not been able to have the kind of mark or be the Dasun Shanaka of 2022.
Yes.
2022 was really the peak of Dasun Shanaka, and I remember we were talking here that why is this guy not being picked by any franchise? Even in 2023, we were asking the same question.
And curse you, Gujarat Titans, you picked him and you destroyed him. Okay. So there is Vanindu Hasaranga, Mahesh Theekshana. That's a potent spin bowling lineup that you've got.
Then there's
Chamindu Vikramasinghe, who's done well for in the Lanka Premier League in one of the franchise. I think it was the Dambula Sixers, if I'm not mistaken, or Candy Falcons. It's one of those two. Matisha Patirana, well, a product of CSK. And there's one more, Nuwan Tushar.
Tushara as well.
Mumbai Indians and CSK combined to ensure, and then you have the 2022 under-19 star and Dunit Vellalage, who did well for Sri Lanka left
then
arm.
got picked by Mumbai?
No, Vellalage wasn't picked by any team.
Vellalage. I'm mixing him with
the Madhushankar.
Dilshan Madhushankar
dismissed Rohit Sharma in that.
Yeah, but he was very good in the Asia Cup.
So he's back in Dilshan Madhushankar. Binura Fernandes, and there was one more injury which I just cannot recollect at this point. So Sri Lanka, the T20I squad is there. It's quite good. But remember, even Russell Arnold, who spoke to one of our guys, he said that, look, at this point there is depth, but how do Sri Lanka utilize that depth is very important. Sri Lanka have not had a consistent run for a long time now, and they are coming out of two things. One, injuries have ravaged this side.
And a bad World Cup.
Bad World Cup. And you can't do anything about it. So that is the way it's there. So let's see how it happens. And let's hope for a good series amidst the Olympics.
I just hope it is a competitive series, unlike what we saw in Zimbabwe. You knew that the Indian team was rusty in that first match, as Shubman Gill also said, but after that, it was the writing on the wall. There was no way India were going to lose that series. Here as well, I just hope there is some sort of competitive edge to this series. That's what I want to see, because I want to see these players being tested as well. Not every series do you want it to be a cakewalk.
Exactly. So Dhairya, let's take some super chats. Dhairya is saying Nikhil has been busy from last 2 months. Not just Nikhil, yeah.
Make that 4, Dhairya.
Yeah.
Make that 4. It started right from the IPL. So there's IPL that happened, 2 months of it non-stop. Then there was a month of World Cup, yes.
And even now the Olympics at this
The Olympics, and don't forget, in all of this in between was sandwiched the Euros, the Copa America as well. there was the business end of that also that we gave you guys.
Oh goodness!
Full updates. So much so that yesterday, in fact, Siddharth, there were some unkind comments in the live that I did, saying that why do you guys never go back home? Please go back home. Stop bothering us. Hey, yeah, we're there for you.
We're there for you, exactly. I think Dhanush is highlighting Rishabh Pant's record, if I'm not mistaken, 74 T20Is,
I think
average of 22, strike rate of 126, phenomenal record. But then Dhanush, he got the job done in that ODI,
but
the T20 World Cup.
That's not to say that his performances will not be put under the magnifying glass.
It will be.
They will be looked at very, very closely. And yes, there is still, does Rishabh Pant not have any point to prove? No, he still has a point to prove.
Yeah.
There is a lot of potential in Rishabh Pant. That is the one message you've got from the chief selector. In fact, both regimes, you see, even the regime prior to Ajit Agarkar as well, Rishabh Pant was always looked at as a prospect going forward, and it doesn't change.
It doesn't change. So, Priyanshu is saying, I get a feeling that BCCI are looking at Gill as the captain because Rohit might give up tests after WTC final. So, Gill might be leading across formats after T20 World Cup 2026. Not all formats by 2026. I think 2027 is when I'm looking at it. After the ODI World Cup 2027.
And because after the World Cup of 2026, Siddharth, I would say.
ODI World Cup, Rohit might still be leading, na? ODI.
You're saying 27?
Because if Rohit and Virat are playing, then Rohit will definitely play as the captain. I don't see him, because if he's leading in only one format, then why not? So that's the thing. Can we just go up? There's something about in this series, all 3 games will be played in Colombo. No, up. This one.
No, the games in Palakele.
No, that's what. Among 16 T20 games played in SL by India, only 1 game was played in Palakele. All other games were played in Colombo, but in this series, all 3 games will be played in Palakele. In fact, I remember it was in 2012. I think Virat got a 50 in that. Or I think, yes, Virat got a 50 in 2012. And India won that game in Palakele. So that's why it is going to be awesome that we are seeing. And Krish Raj, King and Hitman will reach Sri Lanka by next week. They should reach on 30th, hopefully. Let's see. Because second
is when the first match is, right?
2, 4 and 7. Those are your 3 ODIs, followed by 27, 28 and 30.
So 7th you'll have an India match. 8th you'll have Neeraj Chopra's
spilling over into 9th. Yes. So that will be the business end of the Olympics.
That'll be the business end. So track and field as always.
Yep. 11th. This time the business end is going to be wrestling. Women's wrestling. So let's see how that happens. Lots and lots of things coming up. In fact, the night has only just begun, because 11 p.m. the opening ceremony. Do join us for that. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live dugout. We'll be back with more. It's now Olympic season. Cricket takes a bit of a backseat. So from me and Harshad, that's bye. See you. And
there's no Nandri yet, because the action here hasn't stopped for the night. We're going to be getting you reports from Paris. There's so much happening otherwise as well. Siddharth has some beautiful stories in store for you. The one plea before we leave, as Pawan points out, that you can't end this live. I won't press that button till you ask all the lovely people joining right now to subscribe to us. We, as you can see, right near our logo, we're on landmark that is special to us. As in sport, all these landmarks matter. We've got our own landmark as well that we're inching close to, and the way that we can get there is by the love and support that you guys have shown all these years as well. So we just want you to be part of the family in case you aren't already. So subscribe, tap that bell so that you know when we go live. And Siddharth, want to say something?
Be silent. Let's focus on the Olympics now. Okay?
Alright.
So bye-bye from all of us. Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri. Not yet, because there's the